Hey there, y'all. It's Miss Campbell. I'm sorry I can't be there today, but we're still going to have our lesson for today, and we are still going to have our test tomorrow. So I just wanted to go over a couple things with you guys. We're going to take some notes, and then I'm going to give you your assignment. So for today, everything that we will need is here on this 9:15 instructions and video page. You can see it's in this first module, the module for this week. So if you click on this, this will be a link to this video that we are recording right now. I also have some information on there about the retest and the review for the test for tomorrow. We've got it right here as well. You can see the test 1.2 review. It's got the problems there, and then it's got the answers to those problems. So when I'm back tomorrow, I will answer any questions over the test review. And then Friday, I will be able to answer questions over this lesson from today. So if you're at home and you want to watch the video today, again, you just click on the 9:15 instructions and video. You got a little introduction here, and then I got a link to the test review again, reassessments. You can come see me Thursday or Friday before school or after school, or arrange to get a pass for advisory. You might check with Miss Hernandez if you absolutely need to do it today, but if not, we can do it Thursday or Friday. And then, of course, since I'm out, if we need to arrange another time, we can do that too. Okay, so the video that you're currently listening to is going to be linked down here. I just haven't done it yet because the video is not done. All right, so let's get to our notes. Okay, we are going to be covering literal equations today. All right, and so what is a literal equation? It is an equation. Basically, it's like a formula. Okay. So if you think about the formula for the area of a triangle, right? A equals 1/2 base times height. That is a type of literal equation. So a literal equation, it's mostly got just variables in it. There's very few numbers, and you don't know any of the values that the variables represent. So it's just like we're kind of rearranging formulas to solve or to isolate a particular letter. So we'll go ahead and start filling in here. A formula, okay, a formula is an equation that states a rule for a relationship among quantities. And a formula is a type of literal equation. A literal equation is an equation with two or more variables. To solve for one of the variables, you're going to use inverse or remember opposite operations. So an example here, it says in the formula D equals RT, D is isolated, which means it is alone. Okay, and so you can rearrange a formula to isolate any variable by using inverse operations. And this would be called solving. Okay, if you're isolating a particular variable, you are solving the equation for that variable. And a last reminder, dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. And remember, that's your flipped fraction. All right, so let's go on here. It says solving for a variable. So step one, you're going to locate the variable that you are asked to solve for in the equation. Then you're going to determine the operations on this variable and the order in which they are applied. And then you're going to use inverse operations. Inverse operations to undo the operations and then isolate the variable. So we are working in the reverse order of PEMDAS, or the order of operations. So we're going to show you how you can solve a literal equation in the same way that you solve a regular equation. It's just instead of dealing with numbers, you're going to be dealing with variables, with letters. So here it says x minus 7 equals 8. Well, how would we get, it says we're going to solve for x. Well, how would we get x by itself in this case? Well, we see x and then we're subtracting 7, right? So we would add 7 on both sides. So the minus 7 and plus 7 would cancel and we would get that x is 15. Well, you can go over here to the literal equation. Again, they're asking us to solve for x. We're isolating x, right? Well, we have x minus b is equal to a. We have to get rid of that minus b. So we do the opposite, which is plus b, and we do that on both sides. Okay, minus b and plus b will cancel. We will just have x. And then over here, we're going to have a plus b. And we have to keep it like that because we don't know what a is, like we don't know what number that is, and we don't know what number b actually is. So x is equal to a plus b. All right, now we've got another one. We've got 4x equals negative 12. So remember, 4x really means 4 times x, right? So we need to get x by itself. And right now it's x and we're multiplying it by 4. So we're going to do the opposite, which would be to divide by 4. And so normally we would get x would be negative 3 because negative 12 divided by 4 would be a negative 3. We'll go over here and look at the literal equation. Same thing. Negative 3k, and this time they're asking us to solve for k. That means negative 3 times k, and that would be equal to m. So I want k by itself. It's being multiplied by negative 3 right now, so I have to divide by negative 3 to isolate it. So k would be equal to m divided by negative 3. Okay, so here's another one that you can try. It says we need to solve it for b, right? So I got b, and I can see that to b, I'm adding a and I'm adding c, right? So if I want to get a and c over to the other side of my equal sign, I would need to subtract them. So I'd have to do minus a and also minus c. And I would have to do that over here with the 180. So I would end up with b is equal to 180 minus a minus c. Okay, next one. We got our regular equation here. We need to solve for x. So I can see this is a 2-step. So first thing, I say, look, I've done x, I've multiplied it by 2, and then I've subtracted 5. I'm going to go in the opposite order there. I'm going to undo the subtracting 5 first by adding 5. Okay, so 2x equals 16. And then I'm going to undo the multiplying by 2 by dividing by 2. So I'll get x is 8. So I'll do the same thing over here. I see I'm trying to solve for b, and it says 2b minus 9. So it's b, we've multiplied it by 2, and then we're subtracting 9. So we're going to go in the reverse order and reverse operations. So I'm going to add 9. So I would end up with 2b equals d plus 9. And then I have to get rid of the times 2 with dividing by 2. And I have to do this whole side over here, this d plus 9. All of that has to get divided by 2. So b is equal to d plus 9, and then we're dividing that total by 2. Okay, so our next part. All right, next one. We've got here, we've got a few things actually being multiplied here. This is 1/2 times 4 times x equals 20. All right. And so what you would have to do here is you'd have to divide twice because you have 2 things that are being multiplied to your x. Okay. And on this one, I'm showing it to you this way because when we get over here, you're going to have to see that these 3 things, A, E, G, are being multiplied together. So I'm going to show you how to solve this. It's a little bit different than you might normally do it, but just so you can see the steps that we have to do. So I've got x and it's being multiplied by 4 and it's being multiplied by 1/2. right? So what I would need to do, I need to divide by this 1/2 times 4 here, okay? You can look at this like grouped together, right? Because it's being multiplied. So what I'm going to do is I would divide by 1/2 times 4. Do the same thing over here, 1/2 times 4, yeah? So x would be equal to 20 divided by 1/2 times 4, okay? And you could do this in your calculator here. You would actually get a number because we know 1/2 times 4, right? So that would end to 20 divided by 1/2 times 4 is 2. So you get x would be 10. Okay, over here we have A, E, G equals 10. Remember, this means A times E times G equals 10. And we're trying to solve for G. So we have to be able to get rid of this A times E. We can group it because they're being multiplied like this, right? So to do that, I would just divide both sides by A, E, because that means A times E. So G is equal to 10 divided by AE. Okay, next one here. We've got a regular equation, x over -8. That means x divided by -8. And that's equal to 11. So to do that, to undo dividing, I'm going to multiply by -8 on both sides. Okay, the dividing by -8 and the times -8 will cancel each other. So I'd have x is equal to -88. So now I'll go over here. I have 8y over 3 is equal to h, and they want me to solve for y. Okay, I remember that I can think of this as 8/3 y equals h. Like I could put the y to the side over here. And remember, this is being times, multiplied, yes? So if you remember back up at the top of our notes, to divide by a fraction, because to undo this multiplication by 8/3, we would have to divide by 8/3, right? But since it's a fraction, we're going to end up multiplying by the reciprocal. So we would multiply both sides by 3/8. This is h over here. So we do times 3/8. So on this side, the 3/8 times 8/3, that would come out to be 1. So we would just have 1y, and then equals to 3/8 h. All right, so that's the lesson, guys. You're just using the same things that we've been doing with regular equations, and you're just solving for a particular variable, okay? And you just have to understand, I don't know, like over here on our last one, I don't know the value of h, so I can't come up with a single number. So I just know it's 3/8 times whatever h is going to be, okay? So you're going to still have letters in your answer. You're just trying to isolate things. So now your assignment for today is to complete these 8 problems here on page 9. And if you have any questions, I will be here tomorrow. You can come see me before school or after school. And if you need to ask me about the test review, come see me before school or like before you come to see me for your test. I hope you guys are doing well, and I will be back tomorrow. So y'all have a great day.